nursing shortage is one of the most critical problems we face.
We absolutely have a nursing shortage in Pennsylvania.
By the time the baby boomers come along, it's going to be too late.
It's not an easy major. It's a rigorous course of study.
We can't stick our head in the sand and hope the problem will go away, because it will not go away.
When we really are working short, I have less time to teach. I have less time to spend time helping someone.
We need people to be in this career, so the nurses we have right now are not stressed, are not overworked in the sense of burnout.
I think most families in Pennsylvania have had some kind of experience with this. A loved one who needed to get in an emergency room, but the ambulance couldn't deliver them because the emergency room was at capacity. The reason is that if a healthcare institution offers their services without a safe nursing staff level available, they assume liability for that. So they close rooms down.
We're losing a lot of nurses, and I don't like to see that happen.
The nursing shortage today, I feel, is definitely a crisis for healthcare. There definitely are not enough nurses.
This is a needed profession. The needs are not going to go away. They're actually going to get greater.
The nursing shortage is complicated.
We haven't had enough people who went into the institutions of higher education to become nurses.
Recent research that I had done was showing us that our average nursing age was 43 to 45 years of age. So within 15 to 20 years, all of those nurses will be starting retirement.
We have far more nurses talking about retiring in the next 10 years than we do entering the field.
Women now have choices to be anything they want to be. In part, some of our shortage is because women weren't just choosing nursing. The choices are broader, and so the people who one needs to recruit into nursing need to be broader.
We need to build more and larger schools. Harrisburg Area Community College last year had 150 students they couldn't take because they didn't have enough space for them in their physical plant.
There is a terrible shortage of faculty in the nursing schools. The requirements to be a member of a nursing faculty are graduate education, either with a master's degree or a PhD.
Nursing shortage in Pennsylvania will affect nurses in the fact that they're going to be burned out and they're going to leave the profession, and that's just going to escalate our health care costs.
There's really a patient impact when it comes to the nursing shortage, because of course we're short. We do the best we can when we come in, but you have to prioritize your time and what you have and who's the sickest the most.
First, we want to make sure that people understand that nursing is an attractive career. And so talking with middle school and high school students, even preparing and talking about it with elementary school students. Secondly, helping people financially go to nursing school, creating scholarships, loan forgiveness, and grants is important. And thirdly, we need to enlarge the capacity of our educational institutions, which means the nursing schools have to have more physical capacity, but they also have to have more educators, nurse educators.
Nursing shortage, yeah. We have, I could show you the schedule. I could show you holes that are left in the staffing. We spend many hours calling, trying to get somebody to fill in that position. Hiring, it's difficult to even hire. There's just not even the applications, so it affects every one of us.
The government's ability to deal with it is limited by our own financial problems and the problems that every state is going through right now in the country.
State government is not blessed in the last few years with an excess of money. Budgets have been pretty tight. So the Pennsylvania Higher Education Foundation was created to blend the efforts that are available at FIA with private sector donors and to give a little more flexibility to the programs that are being offered.
And we can do that probably faster than we can do it with public money. We can do it with private donors, and we have had a lot of private donors step up to the plate and say this is a good program.
We are not supporting a large organization here. The expenses we incur are being generously supported by FIA and American Education Services. So one thing we can assure our donors of is that any money they donate will end up in the hands of students.
For FIA to step up and use some of its own surpluses with the private sector getting involved in this program is a godsend.
The figures that are always posted are kind of staggering when you look at the numbers. I mean, even out in California now, they're limiting the ratio. Well, if you limit a nurse's ratio, yeah, they can get a little more of that one-on-one care, but now we're prioritizing who gets the health care and who doesn't.
There are so many things that could be missed if you don't have enough nurses on. They don't get the love and care that they deserve. You just have to whisk in and whisk out.
The foundation can do three things to make sure these schools stay at full enrollment and that these students have a chance to work as productive nurses after they graduate. The first is a loan forgiveness program. It's offered so that if they agree to work in patient care in a Pennsylvania hospital or nursing home, that up to 3 years of their student loan payments can be forgiven in return for service with patients. The second thing we can do is try to attract more students to the field of nursing. And so a public relations effort really aimed at younger students while they're still trying to figure out what to major in or what to return to school to, because many of our students now are the non-traditional student returning after some life experience, to consider nursing as the career that's right for them. And the third thing we can do is produce scholarship money to help the schools stay at full enrollment and to help those students meet the tuition expenses that are part of that experience. And to that end, this board of our foundation approved $5 million in the initial scholarship grants to 93 schools of nursing for this current academic year.
I have seen evidence of nursing shortage by having to work overtime because we feel like we have to come in for the patients. When we're short, we volunteer our own time to come in. We are paid, but nobody forces us to come in. And I see that happening more and more.
The loan forgiveness that we've provided, the public relations campaign to entice more students to consider this, will only succeed if there's scholarship money to go with it. The $5 million we just made available during this academic year from the Pennsylvania Higher Education Foundation will go a long way to help with that. But that $5 million ought to be $10 million so that every student of nursing in Pennsylvania knows that we're with them and will sustain them through the effort once they've made the decision to be a nurse.
The Higher Education Foundation has given us a framework for working together around recruiting, retaining, and supporting nurses. And it is a place where other organizations who care about the health care of Pennsylvanians and care about making sure that we have the right numbers of nurses should join.
I hope there'll be $25 million following that from other people, following the example of FIA and making this money available through the foundation.
I'm behind this effort 100%.
To have them supplemented by important private and foundation donations, I think is appropriate and is something that can be a real plus to the state of Pennsylvania in dealing with one of our most serious problems.
I see only positive things happening from us addressing a shortage of nurses throughout this Commonwealth at all levels.
We need you to donate with us. We're not asking you to do something we haven't done ourselves. If you're looking at this tape, you should have received a case for support that outlines the ways you can join with us in doing that, and it's time to reach deep and help us with this problem.